Alright, well, since it's Halloween, I promised some Savage Hunt, seeing that it will be a while before we get to that, periodically, if you guys and gals in the audience like this experiment that we're going to conduct right now, then we'll give you more before the big giveaway at 9. Before the big review down the road. So here's a little taste from the source material directly on how Rambo 5 could have been, could have looked if they had gone the original route. This is from the same manuscript from which Sylvester Stallone read and optioned for Rambo 5. And this is one of my favorite excerpts from the book so far. So go out and buy this book, please. You'll be glad you did, especially if you're a Rambo fan. I was going to read 2 excerpts tonight, but I'm going to start off with this one because it's really creepy and I really like it. The other excerpt deals with an autopsy, a bear autopsy, which Rambo conducts using the knife to move, using his Bowie knife to move through the innards of the bear, and he gets in there and he starts scooping out stuff with his hands and really going over what happened with the bear. So, until then though, here we go. Here's a little Rambo 5 Savage Hunt excerpt from Chapter 6. And once again, this book is Hunter by James Byron Huggins. So here's a little look at Hunter Chapter 6, the excerpt of Hunter Chapter 6. Here we go. You asked for it, you got it. So, behold. Fangs distended beneath gleaming red eyes. He stalked into the light of a pale moon that hung like a haggard skull over the mountains. Hulking and horrific, his slouched shoulders swelled beneath a vaguely human face in savage glare. With animal grace he reached up to brush a branch aside and moved into a wide grassy glade. Now that his sleep was done, and that what he had once been was gone. As he entered the light, he could be seen hunched, tremendously muscular, hands slightly clutched, long black talons extended from his fingers. He was distinctly mannish, though his bulk and brittle muscularity surpassed anything that could be called human. He would attack them at night, he had decided, and when the moment was right, he would kill them all. For he had expected them to follow, had known that they would follow and try to destroy him for what he had done. Yes, he would kill them all, but not yet. He would not kill them until he cornered them in a place where their helicopters and support teams could not be their salvation. Another day, and perhaps another, he thought back over what he had observed. During the day, he had carefully watched the man who wore the moccasins, the one who moved with the wolf, following in its steps so surely. And although he did not recognize fear as they knew fear, he knew he could not escape this one, as he had the others. Yes, he would have to kill the man first. Then the others would be chattel, slain at his leisure as he hunted them through the days and nights. Perhaps, if they were fortunate, some might escape. But he would kill the man with the radio quickly, so they could not communicate. He understood this much of their ways. Snarling, his mind returned angrily to the man. Yes, he was a dangerous, a hateful phantom of days when he had battled truly powerful enemies who had injured him. For certain, with the man he must strike quickly and finish quickly. The rest would be prey. Although he was outnumbered, he was supremely confident because he was faster, stronger, and more cunning than they. Nor did he feel pain, as he sometimes had when they had blanketed him with bullets and explosions. Although he did not fully understand this new body, he knew that its hardened flesh was amazingly resistant to modern weapons. Now all he needed was the rest of the serum to make himself complete. Old man and new man, the perfect being. The fact that he had won this hybrid rage from something lost to the earth for eons did not disturb him. Yes, it was enough to be alive, and if he could only retrieve the serum, he knew he would never know death as mortal men knew death, or as mortals knew death. He stood in the deepest darkness, staring from a ridge over their camp, where their fire burned. Yes, he muttered, laughing, use your fire, as they did before. But we slaughtered you then. We'll slaughter you again. Crouching, monstrous, hands clenching, he stared at the camp, studying all he could see in the moon's skull-like light. Silent and unmoving, he saw the big man who led at the front, the man who tracked with such remarkable skill. Then he studied the wolf that lay at the man's side, the black one. Even in sleep, the wolf seemed alert. Its ears still stood straight, and its face was away from the fire. He could not tell if it was gazing into the tree line. The canine black eyes melted into the utter blackness of its face, but its posture was decidedly tense, as if it never relaxed. He knew that it was a creature that could possibly deliver a savage battle, as much even as the grizzly bear he had killed earlier in the day. But by now the wounds that branded him in the fierce fight had held. Only a thin pink scar marked the moment. Had healed. Only by now the wounds that branded him in that fierce fight with the grizzly bear had healed. Only a thin pink scar marked the moment. With his frightfully dim human intelligence, what had been his name? He estimated that he could recover from almost any wound within a day's time. The hybrid DNA in his system somehow synthesized to accelerate cell replication and enhanced blood generation. Slowly outlined against the sky he stood, still gazing somberly on the campsite. No, he would not attack them tonight. He would wait. He would lead them across the forest tomorrow, allowing them to come close. He would lead them and let them think they were cornering him, as he would corner them in the end. Then, when his stalking was complete, he would launch his first attack, killing several of them before he escaped again. He did not fear injury, or the soldiers, or the wolf, though he did, somehow, fear the man. They would fight fiercely, as all of them did, but the titanic might in his form, in his acutely enhanced senses, and his superior intelligence would be more than enough to destroy him. Yes, to destroy all of them, he growled as he turned into the night. And just if you're wondering, the man who they're talking about, the man that the beast is so cautiously making note of, is Hunter, or on the silver screen version would have been Rambo. So this beast is outside stalking Rambo, watching Rambo sleep. And I think in the book it says it goes on for 4 or 5 hours that he watches Rambo sleep for about 4 or 5 hours, and just decides on all the ways he's going to kill them. So that's your Hunter excerpt. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it changes your mind, and maybe you'll go out and get that book to read, because it would have made an awesome Rambo 5. My prayers are that maybe one day Sly will come to his senses and maybe try to do this one a little bit more, because it is kind of plausible with what the government is doing today. So when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a look at Sage's ghost.